Just trying to keep all the pieces together. That's what organization means to me. That's actually accurate. That is a very accurate depiction of my idea of organization. What's up, socials? Welcome back to Amy TV. You know, I recently had a birthday, and you know how you have a birthday and every time you turn a year older, people come up with the same question to ask you that they ask you every year. How does it feel to be old? Or how does it feel to be older? Or how does it feel to be 30 or 20 or 40 or whatever it is? It's like the same as yesterday. Thank God. What if I did feel different? Ugh, that would be jarring. That would be really, that would not be good for humanity. So even though I kind of hate this question a lot, it does do something positive at the end of the day. I'm always sitting there reflecting on, okay, well, if I'm supposed to feel different today, then how did I feel previously? Whether it was yesterday or a year ago or 10 years ago. And I always come to the same conclusion. I actually really love getting older. Now let's get one thing straight. I don't like aging, okay? There's a difference. I enjoy getting older. When I think of myself in a previous life or a younger version of myself, I'm always realizing, God, I still had so much to learn. And Amy, you little know-it-all, you don't know it all. Still don't, still trying. And I'm just always thinking, man, you had so much to learn. And that excites me because I know still I have so much to learn. And that's what makes every day so exciting and so amazing. So even though I'm not an organization expert, I feel like being organized in your life is you growing older gracefully and doing it in a way where, you know, you're learning how to adult and you're doing it as well as you can. And these are some of the things that I do in order to organize my life so that I can be a better version than I was of myself yesterday or 10 years ago or when I was a little baby, and how I am going to best approach continuing to get older, being another better version of myself down the road, which is so exciting. I can't wait to get there, but we can wait. We can wait a little bit. So I want to share what's worked for me in terms of how I organize my life to continue on an upward trajectory of growing older gracefully and being able to organize all things as we go. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I would love to have you back for the next one. We have to have a conversation about one thing first if we're gonna get all areas of our lives organized, and that is the concept of saying yes or saying no. This is something we all have to work on, right? How do you say no in the times that you want to say no but don't, or feel like you can't? And what determines whether or not you would say no? Better yet, what determines when you say yes? When are you excited to say yes? When do you feel like you have to say yes? When do you say yes because it's something you said you would do and you're continuing to make good on that? Kind of weighing all of this stuff is very important because anything that should be a no should be a no. And those things should not be a part of this organization process just because somebody else is making you feel like it's a part of your process. When they left it for you and you were like, I don't want this. Why has this been gifted to me? It is not a gift. Is this a white elephant? No, it's June. Okay. I have no idea what I just said. So you really got to get good at saying yes or no. And one thing that could help is I like to think of things as how excited I am about them. And let's say it's on a scale of 1 to 10. Well, I've heard this theory that my favorite number, my lucky number, 7, should be taken out of the equation altogether. Because usually if you rate something a 7, you're kind of indifferent about it, maybe a little positive, but not like absolutely yes. Like 7 is sort of in that neutral area. So on a scale of 1 to 10, not using the number 7, how would you rank this thing that you have to do, you're going to do, somebody's asking you to do, whatever it is? And if it's actually a high score, then it's a yes, right? But if it's not, if it's anything below that 7, because you can't use it, then is it really a yes? Like that kind of sounds like it's going to be a waste of your time. There's probably a lot more elements to figure out here, but that's just one thing for you to think about. If you really want to get organized, it's going to feel a lot better for you if you're organizing things in your life that you actually want to be happening in your life. Not organizing a bunch of stuff that got left for you. So from there, I just want to dig into all of the tools and tactics and things that I use to organize my entire life. I think the most relatable thing for everybody is the email inbox. We all have one. We're all avoiding one, or we're all checking it and not quite sure what the heck to do with everything in it. I think of this area as a place where people can leave me those things that we were just talking about, requests and anything that anyone else wants me to do. And I will decide when it is convenient for me if they are going to become a part of my life. So obviously with an inbox or an email address, people can just get in contact with you. And this is a lot of different mediums for people. It could be texts as well, phone calls, your mom could tell you what to do. Everyone sort of has their inbox of their life, right? Mine is pretty literal. Now, I actually don't think that this is a dumping zone. I keep it as organized as possible. I just have to have other things in place in order to be able to do that. So when people do want me to do something, I say, send me an email. As a matter of fact, it's kind of difficult when people do send a DM on social or send a text because I'm not as good at looking at those places and going, do I have any work to do here? Because I don't have time for that. So if somebody actually wants me to do something or is requesting something of me, I have them send me an email because I know that there will be an organizational process for that. So now if we're talking about the email inbox, getting to inbox 0 means deciding, are these things a priority? Are they not a priority? Archive is my favorite button in the whole world because it's not deleted. So I'm still paying Google for space for it apparently, but it's not in my inbox and I'm not dealing with it, and it's either getting a response from somebody else because I've forwarded to my assistant, or it is not getting a response at all because it's generic. But then anything left that is not archived is going to get dealt with, so there's another step in that. And I have to make time to actually go through emails and do the things that need to take place in those emails. But then once I've kind of pared it all down and I have actual real things that I want to do that are in my inbox are things that I need to do, mostly admin a lot of the time, but if it's bigger than that, we'll talk about those processes. But I'll schedule time to go through some of that. If there's just emails I have to respond to and that's the only task attached to them, there's a time and a place for that. Speaking of scheduling time to reply to emails and check my inbox and make sure that it is manageable, you probably know if you've been here for a while that my calendar is my whole life. So when we talk about organizing my life, it could pretty much all be taking place in Google Calendar. So I talked about this a little bit in a recent tutorial about calendar blocking. I highly recommend you check that out because you'll really get to see what I'm talking about. But the biggest thing when it comes to organizing my life on my calendar is this. If a task needs to be done by me, it needs to be on the calendar, period. Am I going to coffee? Am I doing something? Do I have to be somewhere? Do I have to film something? It's on the calendar. And the second piece of that is me being aware of what my day has in store. I try to batch as many similar things as possible. If I'm coaching my clients, there's a period of days that I'm coaching clients and I'm trying to refrain from doing anything else because I want them to have the best version of me as a coach when that happens. If I'm in the middle of traveling or I'm in between coffee appointments and have to take a coaching client appointment, that is not effective. So batching is important, and batching is helped by having a color-coded calendar. Like I said, go watch that video to see what it looks like, but essentially I have different calendars for different things. If it's travel related, if it's just do work related, if it's call related, here's a bunch of calls you have to do, things like that. Every single type of appointment has its own calendar. Some of the only notifications that I get on my phone are those 10-minute advance notice notifications from Google Calendar. So let's say in 10 minutes I need to start filming another video. I'm gonna get a notification on my phone. Here's the video you need to film. You should be camera ready. There's like a bright color on my calendar when I need to have makeup on. Like, you need to let me know. Those notifications are pretty much the only ones I like because I know that they're telling me what I should be doing with my time next, and that I should be finishing up whatever the heck I'm doing right now. So if there are things that I've said yes to that are a part of my life that I need to do that aren't on the calendar yet, they are in a project manager sort of software. And the one that I use with my assistant is called Trello. I might talk to you about this software in the future in a little bit more depth, but you just need to know about this, that if, let's say I sign on for a speaking engagement or I sign on to work with a partner or anything that's bigger than just like a little appointment on my calendar, take some logistical planning, it's got to have a card on Trello so that we can go through all the logistics there. And we can communicate different things like negotiating contracts or just any details that need to get worked out in order for the thing to be successfully done. We also have like a business development board. So if there's something that I'm working on in terms of getting more business in or working with more people, there's a space directly for that. So it's very organized on Trello. Like I said, I want to dig into that in more depth at a later date, but I think that that has been a huge help for me because it's now it's much better than a to-do list. It is very much a task manager, but somebody else is managing it with me. So that's what makes me understand, like, there's things I have to do, which are on my calendar, and there are things I'm managing and going to have to help with that are on this task manager. And so those things really help me be able to separate where my attention should be. The first priority is going to be what's on the calendar. So if something in Trello is a priority, I'm either A, having a scheduled appointment with my assistant so we can go through it, or there's scheduled time on the calendar for me to just go through all of the cards that are sort of having things popping up that I need to deal with, and I'll deal with them. But it all comes back to having an appointment on the calendar. So there's lots of normal things that I think people do in their lives that sometimes I don't have time for. I kind of romanticize the idea of going to the grocery store on a Sunday and just like strolling through with my Starbucks and shopping for groceries, but that doesn't actually end up happening every single week. It does happen sometimes. I do kind of like just listening to a podcast and just aimlessly wandering through the grocery store, just pretending like I know exactly what I'm getting, but just like filling the cart with whatever I think is good. But there are some lovely online services that keep my head on straight when I don't have time for silly things like that. That includes things like Instacart. I will totally do grocery shopping on an app and have somebody bring it to me because it's amazing. Like, who invented that? I love you. Amazon, we have to get a lot of things shipped from Amazon, like big things you don't want to have to bring from the grocery store, like toilet paper and paper towels and dog food and water bottles. Those are the things that I'm like so excited to just have on repeat from Amazon. We also still love Blue Apron. You guys have heard me talk about that in the past. I'm cooking some dope meals on a regular basis because Blue Apron is sending me these things with all of the groceries I need, and it's just perfect. So we actually end up eating really well, and I don't have to outline that extra time to research recipes and go shopping and all that stuff. If you want more details on Blue Apron and that meal prep thing, oh my gosh, go watch that video because I'm a huge fan. My husband is too. I've convinced him that I was lying when I said I don't cook. I now cook. So when it comes to working out, this is important for me to organize because otherwise I'll just skip it altogether. I just would. Of course, it's got to be an appointment on the calendar. I got to work out every single day. But if I just put like go to the gym, I'm not that excited about it. Like, I'm just like, well, what will I do there? Can I just like walk around the gym and not do anything? I try to stick with workout programs. So whether it's I'm going to go to a spin class X number of days per week, that's like a program to me. Or if there's a literal program, I've actually found a really amazing home workout called PGA I'm completely obsessed with. And so they have like a 30-day challenge and a 6-day challenge. And so I will follow those so that when I schedule it on the calendar, it says like, you should be doing day 1 of PGA on this, at this time on this day. And then, 4 days later would be day 4. So I know what the curriculum is of my workout that day. I'm much more likely to feel purposeful and present in that moment. When it comes to organizing travel, I've just actually talked about this in a recent video. I highly recommend you go check it out. It's called Travel Planning Essentials. I really have a few moving pieces here, but the one biggest one that just saves me is TripIt. And TripIt is a fantastic organizer of all things itinerary on your travel. All I have to do whenever I get my flight and my hotel and any of that stuff is forward it to TripIt, and TripIt adds it to my app and just tracks everything for me. It'll let me know when my flight's gonna be late. It's gonna let me know if there's any problems or if I'm gonna have a tight connection at some point. I just absolutely love TripIt. I feel like my whole travel life is put together and mostly love it. Why? I told you this before. Because you can add it to your Google Calendar seamlessly. It just auto-populates. I love it. When it comes to packing, I use the same stuff every time. I have the same carry-ons every time. I have the same personal item or purse for those of us who carry one. My roller bag is the same every time. I just change up the size depending on how long my trip is going to be. But that way I know when I pack, usually at the last minute, like today, I'm going to have to pack at the last minute. I know where everything's going to go. I know what container my makeup goes in. I know where my skincare goes. I know I got to bring extra shoes in my carry-on just in case something happens. I need to bring pajamas so that I can change on the plane if I'm having a moment. I bring a mask so that I can moisturize my skin while I'm on the plane because things go crazy there. My skin is so mad at me right now. Ugh. I need a sheet mask today. So the packing process has basically become autopilot for me because I just know where everything goes. And when you have those designated items and you realize what you need on a plane and what can't come on a plane and what you need to check and all of that kind of stuff, packing is a lot easier. I also credit packing cubes for that because I can just throw a bunch of stuff in each of those and throw them in my luggage, and we're still doing pretty good on the organizational front because if you're just looking at it, nothing is just like flying around or gonna get damaged in the luggage. It's really protected by those cubes. Highly recommend that. I'll link to those in the Amazons. Highly recommend that. I will link to that on Amazon in the description. And when it comes to international travel or any like really important personal documents like social security cards, passports, any medical documentation, that is all kept together in a safe box so we know exactly where to grab it every time. So random ideas and things pop up every once in a while, and it's important to keep track of that stuff too. I love to be able to write something in my bullet journal whenever I have an idea so I can start to brainstorm around it a little bit, but usually if I'm just like on the go and it just pops up and I don't have my bullet journal next to me, it's not really convenient, but the likelihood I have my phone on me is good. So I have Siri set to add my reminders to AnyDo. AnyDo is my little in-between task manager for little things that don't actually matter, but I want to be able to look at it later when I'm thinking of it. Maybe like random grocery items in case I forget. So I'll just talk to Siri and tell her, hey, don't let me forget to check the dryer in 10 minutes and that kind of thing. That is so useful because I'm the most forgetful person of all time. Like even those Google Calendar notifications that tell me I have to get on a phone call, the max I could be notified is 10 minutes because that is the space of time that I will completely forget I was supposed to get on a phone call and I will work on something else. Like, it is so easy for me to get distracted with the really tiny memory that I have. And when it comes to everything else, and when I say everything else, I say the things that matter to you that should be a habit at this point. You still need some kind of reminder. So let's say you wanted to get better at taking care of your skin. Well, keeping all your skincare products in a cabinet somewhere that you never look at, but every once in a while when you go to grab a Band-Aid is a great way to forget to do your skincare every day. So my skincare is out. It's ready. I know everything I have. I know when I'm exfoliating, when I'm not, because I just have it there to remind me. I know where my makeup is and where I always do it. I know Lucy gets an evening pill, but I will totally forget if I don't have it set right next to her bed when I tuck her in to give it to her. My workout gear is sitting right by the TV where I do my training 3 to 5 times a week so that I don't forget it's time to work out and here's your stuff. Make habit building easy so that you don't have to have a little strategic list or calendar for every single thing that you want to get more organized around in your life. Even something as simple as a Lazy Susan for your spices can totally change your life. I can actually now go to the cabinet and have a clue what spices I have. I think I showed you that in a video too. God, I love that thing. So that is mostly everything when it comes to organizing my life. There's lots of other things, but I feel like those are the main items to touch on that might apply to you. But I want to hear from you. What do you do in your life to get organized, to stay organized? Something that's sort of different or maybe just keeps you on track, and if it weren't there, everything would fall apart. I want to know that from you because I'm always looking for things that I should be optimizing in my life, and I think we could help each other. Leave that in the comments below. And I just want to take a moment right now because I don't think I've done this yet on the channel, but I just want you to know right now how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. I never thought that we would get to the point that we are today. It honestly never crossed my mind. I swear to you, that milestone has been so crazy to wrap my mind around. So I just want you to understand and just hear me say how much your time is not taken for granted and how much I appreciate it, and the fact that you do spend a few moments of your week with me every week, every time I upload, especially those of you on that notification squad. Oh my gosh, like I can't even thank you enough. So I just wanted to sit here and say that to you because I wouldn't be uploading twice a week and sharing all these little things that I'm doing in my life that I feel like are making the difference if I didn't feel like it was helping you. And because you watch and because you tell me and because you're subscribed and you keep coming back, I just feel like we've got a good thing going here. I really appreciate your friendship, and I do think of it as that. So Thank you. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, make sure you subscribe for good vibes and remember to continue to go after the life that you want. Cheers.